welcome back to my channel. This is the Diaspora Mom, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to check on my videos. If you have not subscribed, please do well to hit the subscription button so that you will always get alert when I post any new contents. So this video you're seeing here is the children's playground in every household in Finland. I am going to talk about it in the
So
main
today I'm going
video.
to tell you my opinion why Finland is one of the best places to have kids and to raise your kids. Number one reason is the maternity leave. So in Finland, the maternity leave is 105 days, which is about 4 months. And you can start your maternity leave during the 8th month of your pregnancy or then during the 9th month. So if you start in the 8th month, that means you have a shorter period of time to spend with your baby when you have your baby. And if you start in the 9th month, then it's better. You can have more time to spend with your baby. So after the 105 days, so there is parental leave, which is 158 days, which is about 6 months. So during that parental leave, either of the parents can be home to take care of the child, either the mother or the father, and you are paid the parental allowance based on the salary of whichever parent takes the leave. So it depends on your salary. I think you are paid about 70 to 80% of your salary during those 6 months. So on the whole, you have those 4 months and the 6 months, roughly about 10 months to spend with your baby, 10 months to be home. Also, there is paternal leave where the father can take leave. I think it's about 9 weeks, roughly 9 weeks. So the father can take 3 weeks out of those 9 weeks when he's at home with the mom and the child, and he will take the remaining when perhaps the mom is away. Then he can be home and he will be paid for that paternal leave. So that means that it encourages parents to have time for their child, and you're basically at home until your child is about 9 months. So after that 9 months, you can also decide to stay with your child until your child is 3 years. But in that case, your income will reduce. So that means you're going to be paid like the minimum allowance, which is about 600 euros per month. And of course, you're allowed to work for, there is a certain amount of money you're allowed to earn in a month, and it won't affect your, 600 euros. And bear in mind that within these 3 years, you don't lose your job. Your employer doesn't have the right to, dismiss you because you are on a maternity leave. So that is my reason number one. So the second reason is free education. In Finland, there is free education for all Finnish citizens. So if you're a citizen of Finland, you have free access to education from your comprehensive stage, like your primary school, until your university level. But when your child is in daycare, you pay for the daycare, but it really depends on the income of the parents and how many family members you have. Sometimes some people don't get to pay anything for even the child's daycare, but once the child gets to school age, who is about 6 to 7 years, then the child, doesn't pay anything at all. And they get to eat in school. They eat breakfast, lunch, and, snacks during coffee time. And all those are free. You don't need to buy books or anything. Your child's education is free. I think in high school, the only thing you spend money on is buying books. Otherwise, you don't pay for school fees or anything. Likewise, in the university, you can. When I was in my nursing school, I think the only money I spent was in buying some textbooks. Of course, I could get them from the library, but I bought them because I wanted to have them to myself and also to buy my nursing uniform for practicals and my vaccinations, because there are some vaccinations, for example, the chicken pox vaccination that you need to get, or perhaps you need to get the hepatitis vaccination. So I paid it by myself. I paid it by myself. Those were the only expenses, and you know, I paid my house rent, of course, that's not included. I'm talking about the cost of going to school. So, and also in Finland, children go to school with taxi. There is not this method of school bus in Finland is not really common in Finland. But if you, for example, as a family, you live somewhere outskirt, you know, somewhere outskirt that is far from the school, because it's compulsory for every child. Every child has right to education, and it's compulsory for every child to go to school. So for that reason, taxi will be coming to pick your child to school, because there is perhaps no good transportation services or things like that, and the parents don't get to pay for the taxi, so the government pays for the taxi. So it doesn't matter where you live, your children have access to education. So that's about that. So the third reason is free healthcare. So in Finland, healthcare is free for children. I think from the day they are born until they get to 7 years, they are assigned like a public health nurse, and you know in every milestone they see the doctor, and they keep doing this. I think they have to see the doctor often until they get to about 6 months, and then they can go about 9 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 1.5 years, something like that. They have to go to see the doctor, so that the doctor and the nurse, they keep checking how they are growing to see that everything is okay with them, or if you have any complaints, perhaps your child doesn't eat, perhaps there is anything, you can talk about it with the doctor. And those hospital visits are free. You don't pay anything for it, and they continue to have that access to hospital until they get to 7 years. And of course, if your child is free, you can send them to daycare, and you can also get a health insurance. It's not expensive. I have mine with my car insurance together, and I'm not really paying that much, so that your child can have access to the private clinics, especially if you have a child that falls sick all the time and you don't want to queue in the public hospitals. So you can get this health private health insurance for your child, so that your child can be going to the private clinic. So healthcare is free. You don't have to worry about it. And if there's anything wrong with your child, of course, they will definitely take care of it. So the fourth reason is free public transportation. So public transportation is free for children until they get to 7 years. So for example, if you're a mom and you have your pram, or you're a dad, whoever has the pram pushing the baby goes in with the baby for free. So if you're a mom and your child is about 1 to 3 years, so you will save a lot of transportation costs, because once you have the pram pushing your child, you don't pay anything for transportation. It's free of charge for you. And also, until your child gets to 7, the transportation fee is free. And then after 7 years, I think from 7 to about 16 or something, the children pay half of the adult price of the fare. So that makes it easier, for children to move around, and it's not expensive for the parents. So the last reason I'm going to talk about is safety. Of course, everyone knows how safe Finland is, and it has one of the lowest corruption level in the world. And what does every parent want? Every parent wants, to feel that their child is safe. So in Finland, people trust one another, and there is, safety. By the time the child is about 7 years old, he or she is already able to walk to school himself or with friends or whatever, and they can go out to play on the playgrounds. In here in Finland, almost every household have a playground, and there is also a public playground where people, children in that area can also go to play. And the parents don't necessarily need to go and watch them, except they are below 7 years. You can take them outside yourself to play. So the level of safety in Finland is really good. You really feel safe. And when it comes to your child crossing the road, the pedestrian has the first right, and it works 100% in Finland. The cars stop when you're about to cross, especially for a child. They even stop from a further distance than for an adult. So it's very good. So with these reasons, you would understand with me and believe me that you really need to move to Finland if you want to, be a relaxed parent and raise your child in a very relaxed environment. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, so that I will continue to bring you these juicy contents. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.